Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Baccarat Edge. Let's get this thing on and popping. It has been at least 2 years since I've done a video. But let me tell you, the work never stops. I've been here in my lab and I got some new stuff for you guys. I hope you like it. Uh, let's get this thing on and popping. And then you guys can leave comments at the end of the video. This is going to be I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm predicting it's going to be at least 45 minutes to an hour because I'm introducing some software. This, in my opinion, is the most, and when I say it, this is the most, uh, or the best. This is the creme de la creme, if that's how you say it. The cream of the cream when it comes to Baccarat software. This software will be available. Where are we at? We're almost at the end of August, so I'm thinking about sometime around the beginning of September. But if you're interested, definitely shoot me an email and let's get it started. We got a lot to talk about. Well, I got a lot to talk about. First thing I'm going to talk about is you have to understand where I'm coming from. I study trends. I am a day trader. I look at Baccarat charts differently than the norm that everybody else looks at it. And I'll give you an example. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, let me see if I can pull up a picture of so you guys can get a good idea of what's going to be going on here. This is a Renko chart. Okay, this is a Renko chart, and this is the S&P 500. This is the E-mini S&P 500. That's why I always say this is a Baccarat channel where traders become Baccarat players and Baccarat players become traders. Because once you learn how to read this chart, you're going to have some type of understanding how stock charts are read. Now, I did get quite a few comments the last time I posted a video like this because the video was basically, hey, this can't be because you don't have buyers and sellers in the in a baccarat game, and they are so right. You don't. But let me tell you something. There's a strange phenomenon going on with this chart. A phenomenon is an objectable or observable or any observable fact, event that's observable. I don't know why I wanted to say objectable. that's that's a possibility for some of you guys. Is any observable fact, event, or experience that can be seen, heard, or felt. It often refers to something unusual, which is that's what's going on here. Something is definitely going on unusual, or it says it often refers to something unusual, interesting, or puzzling that scientists or observers study to understand how it works. It's a phenomenon. Okay? Now, let's get busy because you guys are going to like this software. And let me tell you, before I present the software, everything that I thought of, I put in this software. Everything. And you guys know I'm a day trader. I sit back and I look at charts all day long. Okay? So some years ago, there was a guy. We're going to get back to the Z-mini chart in a second. Some years ago, there was a guy, and if you guys have stumbled on this guy's channel, this is what his charts look like. 'Okay? 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 ' Every time I go to a casino, and this is in the Chicago area, every time I go to a casino, when you're playing Baccarat or when I'm playing Baccarat, I usually run into, some floor traders, people that work on the floor, but there's one thing that we are missing when we are charting, and we are missing how we look at the chart because for some reason, we can't seem to crack this code. We can't seem to crack this code. First of all, the dealers, well, not the dealers, the rules of Baccarat favor the banker. Only by a small percentage, but nonetheless, it favors the banker. And the way we have been charting, I'm telling you guys, there's something to looking at charts. But seeing this chart right here, let me draw a circle. Let me draw a square better than that. Haha. Seeing this chart right there, it tells you if the trend is going up or down. And no, there are not no buyers and sellers, but it damn sure enough looks like a stock chart to me. And when you look at enough of these stock charts or enough of these kind of charts, you and a trader can immediately say, yeah, I'm going long. I'm betting on banker just looking at this chart right here. Okay? So let's see. Let's see. I wanted you guys to understand where I'm coming from when I say this is the Renko chart. And that's that chart we just looked at is basically a Renko chart. And this chart right here, you can look at a Renko chart. You can draw your channels, resistance, support. Anytime it hits the ceiling, you're hitting resistance. Anytime it hits the floor, you're hitting support. Bang. And usually a chart does not go straight up, as you can see. It zigzags, whether it's going straight up or straight down. You can look at this chart right here. This chart, pull back. Let's see, pull back, go up to the resistance line or go up to the top channel, hit the bottom channel. Top channel, midway through, pull back again, bang, 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 and then it breaks. What I brought to my software was trading techniques. You traders are going to love this, especially if you play Baccarat. You traders are going to love this, what I'm about to show you. So what I said was I would like to see some trading techniques in my Baccarat software. So let's get it on. Let's get it popping. Let's see what we do here. The software is software that I developed. And trust me when I tell you, I put everything into this software, including the kitchen sink. You know that saying, man, you put everything, you put your foot in that. I put the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink. This is a 2-car garage, master bedroom. It's the works. It is the works. There is no other software on the market like this. And let me tell you guys something. For you people that are playing online, this is it. This is where it stops, right here. A guy called me and I kind of like took offense to it, but I'm like, man, I'm not. He called me a snake oil salesman. I'm not a salesman at all. I've never sold anything in my life. I can't sell. I don't. When I was a teenager, I took a job as a tried to take a job on the phone as a salesman. Man, I'm not a salesman, man. I just speak the truth. And I can't read from a script. I'm gonna just tell you what I feel. And I'm feeling this right now. This software is the creme de la creme. It is it. This is it. I put everything into this software that I could possibly think of. If you want something customized into this software, shoot me an email or leave a message. I will get back to you and we'll see what we can do. So let's go through this software. This software is by Baccarat Edge. You will not see another, I'm shooting it again. You will not see another software package like this. Okay. For you guys that are definitely playing online, I would want if I played online all the time, and I said, and I played online a couple times, and I wasn't feeling it. I feel I didn't have enough information in front of me. First of all, to make a good decision real quick, because those dealers, the average hand of those dealers, let me tell you something. Those dealers, and I sat back and I just went online recently and looked at an online video of somebody, one of the dealers dealing online. You have basically 10 to 15 seconds at best. If you got 20, 25 seconds, that's a long time to make a decision and decide what you're going to do. But basically, you have 10 to 15 seconds, and 15 seconds is good because I averaged. I don't even think I got to a count of 10 before that dealer was whacking them goddamn cards out. Right? Those dealers have to deal a certain amount of hands within a certain amount of time, and they are there to get your money. Like my man George C. Scott said in what's that, The Hustler? You owe me money. And that's what they're trying to get. They're trying to collect that money. And they don't want to give you enough time to sit back and twiddle your thumbs while you decide if you want to bet player or banker. Okay? So, uh, this software is going to do a whole lot of stuff that you never seen before. You see my tabs up there at the top. I got a shoe analyzer. I got a pattern finder. And I have a trainer for you guys who want to practice drawing on the rules of Baccarat, who want to practice a particular road. You got the big eye boy road practice. You got the small road practice. And you got the cockroach road practice. And we'll get back to that tab in a minute. But let's get to the main source. Let's get to the meat. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Uh, you know, a lot of times, when you go into a brick and mortar, let me tell you the kind of sheet I used to take with me. And this is just in brick and mortar. Come on in here, sheet. Come on, make your debut. Get your 2 seconds of fame. This is what I did. This is what I was doing in an actual casino. And this basically burns you out. This basically burns you out. You keep count of the hand number, the opposite repeat, the players, the bankers, player versus banker, the opposite time before last versus time before last. It, it's a headache. It's a headache, but when you're first learning this stuff, you got the energy to do it. But after you do it for a couple years or whatever, man, it's time to hey, y'all got to come with something better than this. And nobody came with anything better. Nobody came with anything better. Uh E. Clifton Davis, I kind of like what he was doing out there, but he disappeared. I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't seen no. He had his own website for a second, but he was in Beat the Casino. But Beat the Casino basically took over. I think Keith took over that website, if I'm not mistaken, and he's working with some guys over there. But I used to like the little things that E. Clifton Davis threw out there because it was something different. It gave you something to shoot for, right? But you know, you ever go in the kitchen and somebody's making a pot of chili? It tastes good, It's okay. But you want to just you go up and you go up in the cabinet and say, let me see what spices you got here. You say, let me throw in a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. Ah, now it's just right. That's what this is. That's what this software is right here. It is just right. It is just right. And anybody that got any ideas that want me to do something custom, if you want to build on top of this, let me know. I'm here. Let's get it popping. This first section is the TC count. Okay? The TC count is basically the chart I showed you earlier. And that chart I showed you earlier creates a chart like a Renko chart. Okay? And this can be done in the casino. This can be done in the casino. I've done it and I'm doing it as we speak. Okay? So, this TC count is a chart that doesn't chart the normal way because I just feel you don't you could do some trend tracking with the normal chart. Let's let this fire truck go by. I think he stopped outside. But you could do some normal charting with that kind of chart. And I do have that chart available in this software, but let's get this on and moving so you can see exactly what this TC count chart does. This is a TC count chart. This is a way to chart horizontally. That's this section right here. Here is my current hand section. This is a section where the banker and the player will be, where the hands will be dealt and the results will be final, as they say. This right here is my card tracker. Each time a hand is dealt, these cards come out of the deck. And that's whether you're looking at an 8 deck, which has 416 cards, okay? Or you're looking at a 6 deck, which has 312 cards. If you got anything less than that and you want to customize that, let me know. I can do that for you. But I've never seen anything. Online, I think I seen one casino that dealt 4 decks. Was it 4 or 6? It was whether it's 4 or 6. It didn't sit well with me because they were short. They were short and sweet. But nonetheless, it can be tracked. It can be tracked. So if you need something different other than 6 or 8 decks, shoot me an email. Let me know. But each time a card comes out, the stats over here in your shoe stats update. Now, starting at the beginning of the shoe, like I said, the banker, according to the drawing rules, the banker always has the edge. The banker is always going to have the edge. But for some unknown strange phenomenon, a player can take off and you'll be like, where are the banks? And I got a short, sweet story to tell you. I think I've told this story before. I'm in Indiana one day, and I got a little bit of change on me. I forgot how much. It was enough to hurt me though. And I'm betting the best out of 7. Okay? The best out of 7. And we all know how that system goes if you guys ever played that. And I'm doing a constant count. Next hand, I'll count back with 7 hands. Whoever has the majority, that's who you're going to bet next go round. Or was it every 7 hands? It had to be every 7 hands. Somewhere along the line, I stopped counting and I just knew it shouldn't be happening this way. I got what you call stubborn. Uh, Dealer's dealing. I'm betting $10 a hand. If I lose a hand, I'll go up 1 unit, which is another $10, and add a unit to make up for commit. Yep, it was on banker. I was betting 10, doubling the bet and adding a unit. And the reason why I added a unit is because I had to make up for commissions. Okay. So $10, I can just drop, 15 on the hand and make that commissions, right? I was willing to accept 950. I think it's 950 on a $10 hand. But once I started doubling, the extra unit started creating havoc for me too. I bet 10, I bet 20, I bet 40. And mind you, I'm adding extra chips on top of this. So if I win the hand, at least I'll come out 1 to 2 units ahead. And all of a sudden, the player gets on a run. So I had to have been counting 7 and just betting that banker would come. However I was doing it, it was the best of. I bet 10, I bet 20, I bet 40, I bet 80. And mind you, I'm adding extra chips on top of this to take up for commissions and come out a couple units ahead. So if I win, boom, I get my money, get my $80 back. Well, this is what I'm thinking. I get my $80 back. And hey, I came out a couple chips ahead and it worked for a minute. like my friend Magic said, yeah, but all you need is one time. Well, that was this one time. I bet 80, I bet 160, I bet 320. And when I got that 320 bet, my heart is pounding. You probably could have took my pulse on the floor. My heart is pounding. And player is just kicking ass. And I'm determined. I want to see a banker. Banker is due. Let me tell you something. Those cards don't owe you anything. And no, banker is not due. There's no such thing as banker ain't came in a long time. It's due. I still see people play like that today. Man, bankers do, bankers do. And they're getting killed because you're too stubborn to acknowledge the trend has changed. And you cannot look up on the board and tell that the trend has changed. We're going to discuss that. You cannot look up at that scoreboard and tell that the trend is really, you can't look up at that scoreboard at all and tell if it's trending up or trending down. That's the purpose of this TC count, because you can look at the chart and tell if it's trending up, if it's trending down, or it's trending. It can only go 3 ways: up, down, or sideways. Okay? So I bet the 300, I lost the 300 something dollars. And I think I had like maybe another close to $500 left. And I just shoved it all out there. After there's a lady behind me and she says, hell, you done lost all that. You might as well go ahead and push out the rest. And like an idiot, I shoved it out there because I'm thinking banker is due. And man, when that natural player came, oh my goodness. You're talking about somebody mad. I was mad, pissed off. Whatever you think, it was all at the same time. Not, and I wasn't mad at the lady because she's just, of course, people that stand in the back of you, they ain't got no more money anyway, right? Well, I don't know why they stand around when you're broke. Go home. Anyway, when she made that comment, hell, you might as well go ahead and bet the rest. You done lost. Obviously, she was watching what I was doing. And that natural player came, and man, that is the worst feeling. And I'm pretty sure if you guys have been playing Baccarat for a while, yes, that's a feeling you don't want. Once you experience it, you don't want that no more. So let's get back to this. This software. Each time a hand is done playing, or a round is done playing, I'll call it a hand, these statistics update hand by hand. Okay. This is my card tracker. Now, the reason why I put the card tracker in here is for people who play online. When you're playing online, if you're quick enough, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to add, I haven't added it yet. Listen to what I'm getting ready to put into this software so you'll know how serious I am. I love the game of Baccarat, by the way. If I'm not talking about trading, I'm talking about Baccarat. If I ain't talking about Baccarat, I'm out on the bike trail, just getting a little breath of fresh air, or just enjoying the weather. So anyway, this is a card tracker. So you can go through here and notice when I click these cards, the count starts to move, right? Whatever card you see played out, the count starts to move. So let's reset this. Got a reset button and you can reset the cards. I put a quick entry in here and keyboard shortcuts. This is, wait till you see what I added. Now, the quick entry, or what I'm going to add, the quick entry is if you see an ace of spades, all you have to do is hit AS. Let me make sure this works, by the way. AS. Let me see. Rank. Let's see. Quick entry. AS. Yep. So if I hit a two of hearts, 2H, two of hearts pops in there. If I hit six of clubs, 6C. Six of clubs pops into the discard track. That's a quick way for you quick typers, and I'm not a typer, as you can see. It took me a minute just to find a 6 and a C on the keyboard. I am not, and I took typing in high school. I think I got up to like what, maybe 30 words a minute. Back in the day, used to have typing class. I don't even know if they have that now, but back in the day, you had typing class, and I took typing class, and I think I got up to like 30, maybe I think I was doing good if I hit 30 or 40 words a minute. But anyway, that's the purpose of quick entry. I don't know what keyboard shortcut is. Keyboard shortcuts, then the suit, backspace, undo last card. Haven't used quick keyboard shortcut yet, but I got something better that I'm thinking about adding, and it's going to create some problems. It's the only reason why I haven't added it yet. I'm thinking about adding voice activation to this card tracker. So if I say six of hearts comes out, because when you're playing online, you need to say ace of spades, four of hearts, seven of clubs, eight of diamonds, nine of hearts, 10 of hearts. And in that way, you got those cards out the way and you can go back to making your decision if you want to bet player or bet banker. Okay? That's what this card tracker is for. All right? And matter of fact, as I introduce each one of these sections, I'm going to show you what I can do with this. I decided to be able to take this out. Okay? This window comes out of here. So we're going to take this out and put this to the side for a minute. And I'll show you how my setup as I take each and every one out. Because I can't be down here dealing cards and then have to scroll back up to the top to see what the TC chart looks like. That's my purpose of being able to undock a window. And then see where it says bring it back? You got bring back here in the middle or bring back there. I can just click bring it back and it brings it back into the program. But right now we're going to undock this. We're going to undock the TC count. Each time I go through something, we're going to undock it and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I set it up. Okay? So that's the TC count. That's undocked. The stats, banker or player, that's undocked. And I'm not trying to be braggadocious or whatever. I got 7 screens in front of me only because I do day trading. I always assume, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the average person right now usually has about 2 screens in front of them, right? That's the going norm now. If you got 2 monitors in front of you, you're doing well. You're doing very good. Okay, and that's what the average computer now. People are buying computers or home gaming, or not several monitors, but they have one big monitor, which is even better. I'm thinking about going to like a 45-inch curved screen, two of them stacked on top of each other. Oh man. And because I do a lot of gaming, I like to play World of Tanks. But anyway, um, so if you got like a 35-inch curved or 45-inch curved or whatever, this is going to be perfect for you. This is going to be perfect. Okay. So we took out the TC count. We'll come back to that and show you how it works. We took out the stats, right? The current hand. Let's take that out. Let's move this to the side. Move that to the side for a second. Okay. The card tracker. We're going to take the card tracker out. We're going to put that to the side. All right. Chips and bankroll. This is the heart. This is the heart of it all right here. The chips and bankroll. And you know what? I think I just came up with an idea, and I'm gonna have to contemplate this. I think I'm gonna add the current hands and the chips and bankroll. I'm gonna add that all in one under one window. But the chips and bankroll, this is one another section. This is where it all happens, right? You select your decks, new shoe, your bankroll. So the default is 1,000. If I want to set it at like 5,000, just type in 5,000, hit reset bankroll, and boom, you got a $5,000 bankroll. And all this is for simulated purposes and for practicing, because you cannot just go into a casino and think you're going to play baccarat as a business and not be prepared. All right. Notice the betting here. I can deal a certain amount of hands at one time. I can deal a certain amount of shoes at one time. I think I can deal up to 10,000 shoes at one time. I'm not sure. I think I did set that at 10,000. But you know, if it's set at 10,000 or 5,000, either way, you got plenty of shoes to go through, right? This is the number of I can deal a certain number of hands here, and we're going to go through this. This is the bet, the base bet. So if you're betting $10 and you click on one, that's a $10 unit. You click on two, that's a $20 unit. $30, $40, $50. And notice when I click on these buttons, it changes with the dollar size. And you can use anything you want. You can use something odd. Let's say $23, just for the sake of, I've never seen people use $23 as a base unit, but you never know. So I go $23. I can go 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5 units, 6 units, all the way up to 8 units, right? And you can make your base anything you want, all right? This is player. When you're betting, you're betting on player or banker. You can hit cancel on the bet. You can play hand by hand. That's what those backwards and forward signs are for. You can go to a particular hand number. And down here, right here in this section, let me highlight it for you just in case you don't see it. Plus, I want to play with my toy a little bit here. Down here in this section is going to be a history of the bets you made. So you'll have an idea of how you're doing. Okay? Let's move on. So let's take this section out. All right? Let's scroll on down. This is the fun section right here. I call this the fun section right here. Right? This is the SDT chart. This is where we're going to analyze all of the, and this is how we normally, the scoreboard, the normal scoreboard. This is how, when you walk in a casino or when you are you playing on, when you play online, do you see this guy? I don't remember seeing the scoreboard, but anyway, we'll go through this. You'll know what I'm talking about when we go through it. You can do pattern research here and so forth like that. And we will get into what the SDT can show you. All right. Now, with that being said, we got all of the sections out. This is saving shoes and a couple other things over here. I'll get to that as we get to it. I also have on the second tab, We can load up like 100 shoes at a time or 300 shoes at a time, and you can look at it through the SDT chart or the TC count chart. You can test betting strategies, and you got a bead chart. The bead chart, the only reason, I did research on the bead chart. There's, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, and I only have a bead chart for somebody who wants to look at something in history because the bead chart, in my opinion, is a waste of time. It really is. It's a waste of time. If you know or you didn't figure out something to do, a way to figure out patterns with the bead chart, let me know because I've ran tests in this software with the bead chart. There's nothing out there. Nothing. And maybe I'm a little biased because I lost that. I lost against that player running the casino. And that's what I was basically looking at, a bead chart. Right? All right. On this section right here, Baccarat training. This section right here, you can run hands. I think I can hit run hands, and then it will ask you a question, whether is this a hit or is this not a hit, and so forth. And then guess what I got? Training on the roads, because the roads are a lot different from looking at player and banker chart. And a lot of people don't know how to play the roads. And, as I was doing this software, it dawned on me because I started to like what I see and I got it. I really started getting into this software. And I said to myself, you know what? I really need to learn how to play the roads because if you don't know how to play the roads, you're beating yourself. You're cheating yourself because the roads can tell you something totally different, which we will get into. So let's go back here. Okay, we got all this information out. Let's set this software up for some runs. And here's how I usually set it up. Like I said, if you got a curved screen, a 35-inch or 40-inch, this is going to be going to be perfect. This is going to be perfect for you. So I'm gonna set this up, and let me remind you now. Let me remind you. This uh, is not a system. This is an approach. This is just a different way of looking at the charts that we normally look at in a casino. This is not a system. This is an approach. I've been playing Baccarat. Wow. Long time now. That's all I'm going to say. Long time. So I knew what I wanted to put into this software. Okay. Let me set up this other monitor here. You're going to have access to the other monitor when I switch over every once in a while. Yeah, so like I was saying, I knew what I want to put into the software. And the reason why I haven't released it yet is because I am still adding stuff to this day. To this day. I am still adding stuff to this day. That's why I said the release won't be to the end of this month or the beginning of September. So on this screen right here, screen you're looking at, we're going to look at the TC count, the chips and bankroll, and the current hand. The current hand is where all the cards are being dealt. I think I'm going to add that into the chips and bankroll. And I'm glad I'm walking this through with you guys so I can have a good idea of what changes I need to make, so on and so forth. All right, I'm sitting up here jotting something down as we speak. Okay, so on this screen, we're looking at chips and bankroll TC count. On the next screen, we're looking at the SDT chart. This is the SDT chart. You guys get ready because I think this is going to be of interest, especially to a lot of traders out there and Baccarat players who appreciate good software. I've been looking for something like this for a very long time, it's not out there. And then we got on this screen, we got the card tracker and we got the shoe stats. All right. So let's get it on and popping. For practice, I might want to, I usually don't start betting until like hand somewhere between 15 and 20 because I want to see if some type of trend has been established. I'm making another note, guys. Hold on. Just jotting this down real quick. Gives you guys time enough to look at the screen also so you can see what I'm working with here. And when I started to develop this software, I said, I'm a trader. I want to see some things that I'm looking at when I'm looking at a regular chart, or E-mini chart, or British pound, or euro dollar, or whatever chart I'm looking at. Okay, because I do a lot of forex too. So usually I wait till a trend is established. So if I'm waiting the first, let's say 20 hands, I'll go down here to chips and bankroll. I'll type in 20 and I'll say deal 20 hands. Now notice when I immediately started dealing those hands, these stats updated to the last hand. Let me tell you what these stats are. First of all, this chart. I put a moving average on this chart. So I'll know when banker goes above moving average and when player is dominant below moving average. That's the only way, and that's what a moving average is telling you. I can set this moving average number to anything I want. And notice when I go up in number or go down in number, notice the line moves with the moving average. Okay? My default is 5. That is the perfect moving average. Now, on a regular chart, you'll see traders, they got 100 period moving average, 80 period moving average. Well, the Baccarat hand or the Baccarat shoe, not hand, but the Baccarat shoe only has at best anywhere from 80 to 85 hands in an 8 deck shoe. Okay? So, I said if I'm looking at a TC count chart, I want to see a moving average on my chart. And I can change this moving average to anything I want. Now, this swing right here, this little dotted line you see right here, let me break out my toy again. This dotted line you see is, guess what? Support and resistance. No, there are not no buyers and sellers, but this chart is damn sure enough building like there is. I'm done debating about whether there are buyers and sellers, but for some strange phenomenon, this chart is acting like a regular stock slash futures slash forex chart. This is how you watch a trend on a chart. There's no way you can tell what a trend is by, and I'm going to switch over to the SDT chart because that's the regular chart that we are used to looking at. There's no way you can tell what a trend is by looking at this kind of chart. This chart is telling you something totally different, right? Okay. Let's go back to the regular chart. Let's go back to the regular chart for a second. This chart right here, and I guess I'm gonna have to bring this SDT chart over just to get my point across. Let me bring it over for a second. As this shoe is charting the TC count, you can also go over here to the SDT chart, as you can see, and it's charting that also. There's no way you can look at this chart and tell you got resistance right here at that looks like that's +4. That's +4. How I came up with this, and everybody knows this count. You add 1 for banker, you subtract 1 for player. Okay? The gray line you notice here is 0. But you got resistance up here. And what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Resistance at hand 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hand 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. 4, 11, and 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is down here on this chart. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's hand 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's this banker right here. That's resistance also. You can't tell. You cannot tell. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. All the resistance is down here at the bottom. How you going to know? How you going to know that this chart is hitting a ceiling? You don't. Even if you walk into a casino, they're doing this kind of charting, you don't know. I'm going to tell you guys what this is about right here in a second. We're going through this software bit by bit so you can see its capabilities. But I'm getting the point across right now. And I like looking at a trend so I can see where support and resistance is. The argument about being buyers and sellers, that's over. Of course, you win. You win that argument. But explain to me why this chart is looking like a stock chart. Okay? All right. So let's get back to it. Let's get busy. We'll come back to the SDT chart in a minute. Okay? So this is the regular TC count, banker, and player. Now, if I wanted to look at another row, this is the big eye boy. That chart looks totally different. But guess what? It's the same shoe, right? It's the same shoe. And that's where this little interesting instrument comes into play. Because I didn't know, every time I walked into a casino, up until recently when I started doing this software, for some reason, I thought that's what banker and player, but no, that's something totally different. That's what that D stands for. S stands for the same. D stands for different. Or as I saw in another video, chaos. Right? So the banker is D on this particular hand because this road, the banker and player changes constantly. 1 second, the red could be banker, and then another second, it could be the blue could be banker. That's why I added this right here. This comes from a lot of experience of playing Baccarat just to even think about putting this on the software. Because the average person doesn't know either. Right? So this little tool right here at the top tells you the next hand, either banker is going to be blue and P, and player is going to be S. And then, of course, it says Y. And if you click on Y, where's that? Where's that? There it is. Explanation pops up and tells you why. Okay? We rocking and rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. We're rocking and rolling here. Let's move on. So if I want to look at Big Eye Boy, this is the same shoe, but you get a different view of what's going on. That red doesn't mean banker, and that blue does not mean player. Let's get that straight. I'm actually trying to get it straight for me. But let's get that straight. If I wanted to go down to a small road, this is the small road. This same shoe looks totally different, but guess what? Small road then broke. It then broke down. And this is a perfect time to talk about this. +3 and -3. Okay. Now this zoom button up here, I can zoom in on the chart or zoom all the way out on the chart. Notice the chart gets smaller. I just leave it at default. This right here is the same shoe, but a different chart. And notice the moving average starts at hand 5. Okay. If you move that if I go down to 3, the moving average starts at hand 3. All right. But like I said, I like to see it on 5. You guys might want to set it as something else. Just type in the number. These arrows act kind of funny. I'm going to correct arrows on number selection. Bear with me, gentlemen. Okay. Now, in developing this software, only reason I was able to put all this stuff in here is because I have trading knowledge. Average Baccarat player, and a lot of them don't believe there's no other way to chart whatever you're looking at. It don't have to be Baccarat, but whatever you're looking at, they don't believe there's no other way of charting. So I let them be. All right. Let's move this down a little bit because we're definitely getting a little bigger now on this TC count. So this is a small road. This is a different looking chart here. Let's go to the next road. This is a cockroach road. Same shoe. Chart looks different. And notice over here, when I select this, when I make this selection here to go to cockroach road, when I go here, this changes to cockroach also. And that's telling you B is red, player is D, right? And what the latest was. And that gives you an idea in case you want to play a particular road. If player is D and you're looking at a downtrend, then you're going to play D, which is player. That's the purpose of this little tool. All right. Let's move on. Let's go down to opposite time before last versus time before last. This is just regular banker player chart. Notice this opposite time before last has taken off to the upside. Okay? That gives you an idea of what is trending. I cannot tell what is trending when I'm sitting back writing all of this on this kind of paper with all of these headlines. Even though it says +3, +4, I'm a visual person. Show me what's going on. We got opposite time before last versus time before last. And I got plus and minus numbers, but I would have never thought of this kind of charting right here. So this is opposite time before last versus time before last. This chart right here, click down one more time, opposite verse repeats. This is chopping back and forth. So right now, opposite time before last is looking good. And was it the small road? Small road is breaking down. If you are playing online, this is it. This is the cream of the crop. This is the cream of the cream right here. This is giving you a lot of information. Wait till I start explaining these other boxes. Okay, so now that we know, let's go back to the regular TC count, the player banker chart for a second. This chart looks kind of boom, boom, boom. And that's all I had access to when I'm in a casino. This is the only kind of chart I thought about charting was player banker. But once I started practicing with the software, I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to chart a couple things at one time manually. You get good at that. Just the same way I did, you did it, I did this sheet and kept up with all this stuff. Trust me, practice makes perfect. You'll get good at it. You'll be able to look up at that scoreboard and say, hey, if I'm looking at a small road, I know that, S is banker, or S says next play, S would be banker, or player would be D. Whereas S last time, this is a perfect example how this switches up on you real quick. And you got to be on your P's and Q's. The last play on small road, player was blue, or S was blue, S was player, which is red. Now player is D. You follow? Do you guys follow what I'm saying here? It gets confusing, and this is why a lot of people don't like looking at the other roads, because it gets real confusing real fast. Pick a road and master it. Pick a road and master it. Whether it's going to be Big Eye Boy, whether it's going to be Small Road, or whether it's going to be Cockroach Road. Pick a road and master it. Okay? Just just uh just some tidbits for you. All right? So, let's go back to TC count. Notice the TC count is +3. Okay? We're at hand 20. Right here, it says banker is in banker is in charge. Right? What I mean by that is got to get a cup of water. When I say banker is in charge, what I mean by that is whenever banker crossed, and it highlights here, +3, whenever banker crossed +3, it only ran one time, which is 17% of the time. It only ran 1 out of 6 times. That's when it crossed +3, -3, because I always say, for me, and you'll be able to change that, but for me, +3, -3 was I call that chop mode. Okay. Now, if I said use the moving average instead of +3, -3, I put a check mark there. So when I drop this and go here, let's come back up to TC count, see if it changed. It hasn't changed. Okay. So over here, it says TC count greater than moving average for banker 29% of the time. And that will change. That will change as the hands start to increase and you start to see more hands. TC count less than moving average 14% of the time. Okay? It crossed the moving average 7 times, but only advanced once. Let me show you what that means right here, right now, because I'm looking at that play. After it crossed right here, that's the only time you got the second play out of it. Notice the other ones, that's only one cross. That's only one cross. That's only one cross. So once it goes and continues on, that's when this number will start to increase. Okay? Let's continue on. You guys are getting me confused now. I got so much shit popping in this goddamn software. All right. This right here, the blue, TC count versus the moving average. Right now, we're below the TC count. Okay? We are below the TC count. Or below, not below the TC count, below the moving average. Okay? We're below the moving average, and the TC count is 3. That 3 is the TC count versus the moving average, which is sitting at 3.8. I have a sheet where you can do an easy calculation for the moving average in case you're in a brick and mortar. And this tells you right here what the moving average is, 5p. That's the moving average. That's what the moving average is set at. All right? A lot of information being digested here. So like I said, I can go to any chart and the stats will change and tell you what the TC, and notice the TC count changes. This is a right here, a banker player TC count is 3, but notice when I jump to opposite time before last, it jumps up to 5. Simple enough? Okay. Now, so we're at hand 20. Let's advance another 15 hands. 15 hands, hit the deal button, it just dealt another 15 hands. Okay? Notice that resistance held up here. And this is what traders are looking at. This is the kind of stuff traders are looking at. Resistance came back down. Let me get my drawing tool here. Hit the resistance, came back down. Resistance, came back down. Resistance, came back down. Resistance, came back down. You can't tell me this is not a strange phenomenon. This is a day trader's chart all day long, especially if he's playing with the moving average. Because the difference between this chart and a trader's chart is, yeah, we might have thresholds for support and resistance, like you got resistance here, and then it would probably do something like this on a regular chart for support. But check this out. It's just like a stock chart. I know traders are chomping at the bits because yeah, it's a bitch too. But anyway, they're chomping at the bits because if you're like me, you're saying, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right? Let's move on. Okay. So we dealt another 15 hands, and notice the chart is dancing on TC count of 0 now. TC count is 0. Let's go to opposite time before last. Opposite time before last, cross below that moving average. If you're a trader, traders wait for a cross below that moving average just so they can short. A lot of times I'm going to be using trading terminology. It's the same. It's synonymous with playing the player. Going short, meaning you want the price to go down. Or I might say trading. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, you're going long here. You're playing the red here, and you're playing the blue on this side. Okay? That's the way moving averages work. And that's opposite time before last. And notice it tried to make a new high. It made a new high right here at the moving average. Bang, bang. I have caught some incredible runs in the brick and mortar just by charting the TC count and playing above and below support and resistance, because on my charts, on my sheets, I actually draw my channels and my support and resistance. It's incredible. It's incredible. But if you're playing online, this is the kind of information you have access to. Let's continue on. We got a lot to talk about. So now we're at hand 35. Okay? Banker has crossed +3 9 times, but it only advanced twice. That's 22%. 22%. Over here on the TC count is greater than the moving average only 23% of the time. But now the numbers are starting to get interesting because now we're at 31% below the moving average. The TC count is 31% below the moving average. It has crossed that 16 times, but it has only advanced 5 times. So if you are playing online, because in this section right here, this is where this comes into play. This is manual entry. either you enter banker, player, or tie. And if you're using the card tracker, you enter the cards. And like I say, I'm thinking about putting a voice activation on there. A lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of work. Let's continue on. Now, with us sitting at 30, hand 35, and you can see what all this is. Now, let's go to and play with the SDT a little bit. This is the SDT chart. You know what? I'm gonna bring this to the chart, to the thing in front of me, just so we can I won't have to reach as much. This is the SDT chart. A lot of you guys, have you guys ever heard of School of Baccarat? They used to do a lot of advertising on the internet. I think they are gone out of business now. This is what they used to show us. Do you know how much those patterns were they were selling? Those patterns were at least or almost, they gave me a quote of $10,000. Are you out of your mind? A $10,000 pattern. 10,000. Yeah, okay. That's what I said. Yeah. School of Baccarat. SOB. Anyway, that's what they were doing. I don't think they're no longer in business now. But they had a YouTube channel and they were selling patterns. Obviously, they were selling something that, you can chart on your own or program into a software. Let's talk about this SDT. I program in an alert where you can choose a sound in case your pattern pops up. So if I decide to set an alert, let's set an alert.
If you're too careful, your whole life can become a fucking grind.
And these squares are basically how many in a row that you want to see. I usually set it at 2.
If you're too careful, your whole life can become a fucking grind.
I'm going to tell you what this means, what these numbers mean. You want to see, and the terrible twos are rough, but you want to see statistics on the terrible twos. Okay? This is the regular player banker chart right here. Notice on this drop down, we're going to get back to those numbers in a minute. Notice on this drop down, I can set it to any row that I want. Opposite time before last, there you go. Opposite verse repeat, there you go. Small road, there you go. Big eye boy, there you go. Now let's get back to what these numbers up here mean. And a lot of you guys probably know this, but I'm explaining it anyway. I want to see when he gets to 2 in a row, 3 times, I want to be alerted. So let's look at this. Where's my toy at? There it is. when he gets to row, two in a row, 3 times. When he gets to a 2 in a row, 3 times. When he gets there the third time and it's at 2, I want an alert to go off. And that was that alert you heard go off. Okay? So you got there once, you got there twice, the alert goes off here. Okay? It's letting you know you're at your third time of 2 in a row. All right? Now, coming up to the current hand, notice the red, the blues, and every time it gets to 2 in a row, it has a square on it. I don't know if I'm gonna leave the squares on there or not, but it's a square just to bring to your attention, besides the alert. It has a square on it, right? And the last 2 in a row is right here on the banker side. That's the banker. The blue is the banker because we're looking at a regular chart, a regular player banker chart. So if you go to the stats up here, the blue has came 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has done 2 in a row 5 times, but it has only advanced once. That's the advancement right there. And right now, that's at 20%. That's what that stat is telling you. Okay? Let's look at the next. Let's look at the red. The red has advanced, has gotten a 2 in a row 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. But when red got to 2 in a row, 50% of the time, which is 2 out of the 4, it advanced. That's what School of Baccarat was selling you. That's what they were selling you. And for some reason, they had some crazy numbers of the chances of this number popping up again within a certain amount of columns. You can't do that with Baccarat. You can only look at the history. There's no prediction here. You can only look at the history and base your decision on what the history is telling you. Okay? I'm not selling you guys a dream. What I'm showing you here is software that's giving you all the information. It's like looking down at your dashboard. You know you're doing 50 miles an hour. You got a full tank of gas. Your car's running cool. That's what this is. It's providing you information that you need to see. It's not predicting anything, and it's not suggesting you bet this based on this. It's telling you 50% of the time, banker ran after they got 2 in a row. Player only did 20% of the time. So basically it's telling me, if only player did 20% of the time, every time the player gets to 2 in a row, I'm betting banker. If banker's doing 50% of the time, I don't know, flip a coin or sit on your hands and wait. But you have access to information here that you need to be paying attention to. Okay? Let's move on. Let's look at Big Eye Boy. Big Eye Boy, look at the stats. Every time same, the S, because that could be player or banker, got to 2 in a row, it advanced. 100% of the time. 3 out of 3 times, it advanced every time. So when the same gets to the same, or gets to the second in a row, not the same, but the second in a row, but it's still the same, it's telling you 100% of the time it advanced. So I would probably be betting same every time a 2 in a row popped up. You don't know what same is going to be. Now unless you look over here and boom, back to the little device I devised over here. It's telling you what S is. S is player right now, and banker is D. In the last play, player was D. But now, the next play, banker is D and player is S. You got to pay attention to that. You definitely, if you're going to play different roads, learn the rules. That's why I have the training inside the software, and you won't have to look at this little toy no more. I have to look at it because I ain't quite got it down yet, but now I'm starting to realize the importance of S and D. Okay? If you're going to play Baccarat as a business, this is a necessity. This is the cost of doing business. This is the cost of doing business. It's giving you all the information you need. Let's continue on. All right? That's big boy. This is small road. Look at the stats on small road. Every time it got to D, 67% of the time, it advanced. So it got to D. The D got to 2 in a row 3 times, and 2 out of 3, it advanced to the next level or to the next play. That's telling me a lot. That's telling me I can bet. I can take a chance and bet on the D. The red has done it twice. And each time the red got to 2 in a row, it advanced. I can take a chance and bet on the red and bet on the same also. So what this is telling me is with both running, the stats running like this in history, past performance is not indicative of future results. When it gets to 2 in a row, continue betting. This is the kind of information I never thought about when I was running this kind of sheet right here. You could very easily sit down in a brick and mortar if you have mastered one of these roads. And it's only 3 to master, only 3. The big eye, the small road, and the cockeye. Look at the cockeye. Look at the cockeye. Each time the cockeye on the D, and you don't know what the D is going to be unless you look over here at the little, what you call it, the latest D was player. Now it's banker. This is the kind of stuff you got to watch out for. Player is S, is the same. That's why this tool is here. And then you got opposite time before last, which is player or banker. Doesn't make a difference. It's just the way you count. It's just how many hands you count back, player or banker. And opposite verse repeat. And the stats are, hey, the stat is telling you, or it's telling you what it did in history to give you some type of idea of what you want to do on the next hand. Past performance is not indicative of future results. We always had to say that. I used to work at a trade desk. And, when customers call and they say, well, I understand you got a system and blah, blah, this, and you're making this much on the system. Yeah, but past performance is not indicative of future results. And if you don't tell them that, they hold you to that. That's real. That's real traders talk right there. Some people want you to guarantee them money. There's no such thing in life as a guarantee except in death and taxes. We're all going to take that ride. Hopefully not anytime soon. But it's guaranteed to happen. Okay? So, this is what this SDT chart is telling you so far. Okay? Let's go back to the main course. Let's go enjoy some more of the main course. Let's bring this down for a second. The stats. Let me just bring it right. Let's bring the stats down for a second and look at these stats. The stats on player banker, according to the drawing rules, It's always going to be almost an even game, but banker is almost going to have an edge. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I was running some shoes one night. I don't know, and I didn't take a screenshot, and something told me to, but I didn't. These numbers right here, the banker win probability. These numbers right here, and these estimated wins got a little out of pocket. It was we were down to like the last. It was estimating the last 10, 15 hands, and the player was at like something crazy. It was just, and this was on Banker Player. It was something like Banker is estimated to win the next 15 and player is estimated to win 9 or something like that. But if you're playing online and you see these numbers right here and one takes a strong lead over the other one, it doesn't happen often. But I've seen it. It does happen. It does happen. Pay attention to estimated banker wins, estimated player wins. And that is why I put the card tracker on there. Okay. Banker win probability, player win probability, notice it's all the same. But, but let's go to big boy. And the big boy is just telling you that the same has won 59% of the hands. D has only won 40% of the hands. Ratio is 1.45 to 1 right now. So S has a slight advantage over big boy, or not over big boy, but over the D. If you go to small road, D has came 56% of the time, and the same has only came 44% of the time. D has won 14 hands. S has won 11 hands. That right there is telling you, and that's a small road. So let's go to the small road chart for a second. Let's look at the small road. Us being at hand 35, go down the small road. You've had some good plays in small road. Red right there, but blue right there. But you don't really start getting into blue till it gets to that moving average. Yeah, when that moving average starts to build, that's when you're interested. But it seems that red is in charge right now because it's above the moving average, and red has been winning lately. And right now we're on the moving average. So these are the kind of stats that you're going to be seeing when you switch over and look at different things. This is the cockroach. Cockroach is almost about even. This is opposite time before last versus time before last. And this is opposite versus repeat. This is in your shoe stats. Okay. Also notice we're on hand 20, not 25. We're on hand 35. So when you look over at your your card tracker, all these cards have been played so far. These are the cards that are left in the deck. You got 240 cards left. 100, 176 cards dealt. So 176 cards have been played out. Aces left, 15. 2 through 9s, 144. And 10 value cards, 81. Okay? That's what the card track is telling you. What else do I need to show you guys? Okay, we're gonna move over to the next. Now that you know the kind of information that you're gonna have access to with this software, now we're gonna make a big jump. What if you want to test a system, or not your system, just test what I have running here? And when I say test what I have running here, we're going to talk about money management for a second. On this money management, notice in the chips and bankroll, I have a $10 base. And we're going to leave it at $10 base for right now. Okay? And if I say I'm going to cut the strategy on, okay? And I want a target of 15 units. This does not automatically trade for you, but it's going to give you a recommendation as you go play by play, or not a recommendation. As you bet, it's going to tell you play by play how much you bet, how many units, not how much you bet, but how many units you bet, how many units you lost, how many units you won. That is over here. This is the running of total units. Okay? And this is a up as you lose. So if you put a check mark here and you say, I want to bet 1 unit, then 2 units, 3 units, then 4 units, then 5 units. That's what this does. Now, each time you make a bet, if you win the banker, if you win on the banker side, it will take out commission. Just to let you guys know, it will take out commission. Okay. So you put in a target of 15 units. All right. You put in a stop loss of 10. That's the term we use in trading. Stop loss of 10. I also have a trailer, but I very seldom use the trailer. And let's go to +3, -3. And you can change this, and I haven't implemented that into the software yet. But you're going to, I consider, let's go back to this chart for a second here. I consider anything between +3 and -3 chop. But you're going to be able to change that number if you want the chop to be +2 to -2 or 0 to +2, whatever you decide it to be. That's what your breakout will be. Right now, my breakout, and I played more than enough shoes, and I'm talking live shoes in a casino. It's something about that +3 and that -3 where it gets in the chop. By the way, if you have a system to play chop, that lets you know right there that you can play chop all day long. You might get a little heavy into the progressions, but you can sit up there and play chop all day long if you play between +3 and -3. Okay? So on this particular TC count, on the TC count on this chart, up as you lose at hand 35, you're down 8 units. Here are the number of units right here. You're down 8 units if you're using the TC count chart, or 8.35. It tells right here, it tells you what hand is betting what, whether it's the +3, whether you're waiting for the +3, -3 breakout, or the moving average. And this right here, over here, is the total. Okay. You can set an alert on this also, right? Then you can just pick your.
He beats me. Straight up. Pay him.
I like playing those wave files.
Pay that man his money.
I love playing the wave files, but anyway, let's get back to it. Now notice, I'm gonna show you something. That's on the TC count, you're down 8 units. On Big Boy, you made a unit up until entry 27 so far. On small road, you're down a unit. On cockroach road, you're down a unit. On opposite time
He
before
beats
last,
me. Straight up.
you got stopped out. You're down
Pay
14
him.
units. On opposite
Pay
repeat,
that man his
you're
money.
down 2 units. Okay? And if you want to see what the moving average is doing,
He beats me.
all you have to
Straight
do
up.
is put a check
Pay
on
him.
moving average instead of
Pay that man
this,
his money.
+3 -3. So, and let's move this down to 10 and see if we get any changes. Okay, so on opposite repeat, you're down 12 units. Opposite time before last, you're up 10 units, or you locked in 10 because when it got to 10, it stops betting. On Cockroach Road, you're up 8 units. Even though that's red, you're actually up 8 units. That red is for S. Player. Player is next hand. On the small road, you're up 6 units. On the big eye boy, you're up 3 units. On the
He
TC
beats
count,
me.
you're down
Straight up.
10.2.
Pay him.
Now the way I like to play, and
Pay that
me and
man
my
his
partner,
money.
me and my partner, we usually play the moving average, and we don't play the progression. Let's see if I uncheck the progression if there's a difference. Not that much of a difference. Now this progression, if I just wanted to enter, say like a 1, 2, 4, let's change that to that. Make that a 0. You can enter these progressions any number you want. Into these progressions. And then you'll see the result instantly on whatever chart you decide to select. So say like if I
He
decide to
beats
go
me. Straight up.
up as you win.
Pay him.
So up as you win.
Pay that man his money.
Let me enter a progression I always wondered about. 2, 3, 5, 8, 12, 20. And took off the stop loss and took off the target. 2, 3, 5, 8, 12, 20. 2, 3, 5, 8, 12, 20. I took off the stop loss. Let's see if there's a difference. There's a difference in the +3 and -3 on that. And this is just the regular banker player chart. That's with the big eye boy. Big eye boy is even right now. Small road is down 10 units. Cockroach is down 2 units. Opposite time before last is down 3 units. Now, let me explain to you something about this. This is the progression or the money management that I have set in here is just how I bet it. If you got a custom way of how you would like your progression, besides going up and coming down, because I think I got 2. I think mine is go up to the next progression, and when you get above 5 units, come down by 2. And then keep coming down by 1 after that, right? And that's how this progression works. So it gives you an idea of exactly what's going on here, when you're betting progression. Now, let's do something here for a second. Have a little fun. We're at hand, where are we at? Hand 35. Let's deal another 20 hands and see what the result looks like. Deal 20. Okay. Notice the TC count. Notice we're only down 3 units now on that. Big boy is up 2 units. 14, down 14 on small road. And this is up as you win, by the way. And I'll show you how it changes when it goes to up as you lose. Okay? So if I switched over to the martingale, and let's put the target back.
He beats me.
Just in case. This
Straight
is his
up.
target. Once you get above
Pay
the target,
him.
if a bet
Pay
requires you to
that man
go,
his money.
if a bet requires you to go below your stop, it'll stop wherever it is. So this unit stopped at the opposite repeat stopped at plus 12. Opposite time before last, lost 43 units. Cockroach plus 6.
He
Small
beats
road
me.
plus 11.
Straight up.
Big eye boy
Pay him.
is even. And the regular
Pay
TC
that man his
is down
money.
4 units. Now, none of this stuff is etched in stone. This is just me playing around with numbers. All right. Because I can actually say, let's hit this reset. Let's hit a reset and let's look at how it did over 80 hands altogether with this money management. And let's get, I'm gonna go a little conservative on y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Okay. Now let's look at 80 hands total and see how each one did, starting with the TC count. Deal 80 hands.
If you're too careful,
Bang.
your whole life can become a fucking grind.
At the end of the shoe, you made 4 units on the TC count. You made 2 units on that, and this is just going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and coming down by 1 unit, coming down by 1 progression as you go along. Yeah, you can get very, very conservative with the progressions, or you can make no progressions at all.
Straight up.
This one hit the target of 10
Pay
units,
him.
and that was the opposite time before last.
Pay
versus
that
time
man
before
his
last.
money.
And this is opposite versus repeat, which broke even. Okay, that's what this system right here is all about. You can play with progressions and do how you want. Now, let's say you're looking at these charts over here. Over here, I got SDT strategy, and it tells you right off the bat which road is making money, right? And now here's the thing that I noticed, and I really never paid attention to it, not unless you just I call it action, fiending for action. And I always joke with a friend of mine, we play tanks a lot, World of Tanks a lot. And sometimes he's just firing at guys just to be firing. I said, man, you're a fiend for action. But anyway, this particular chart right here, the SDT chart, this chart, if you're really playing by the rules, which is I kind of like because I'm more of a conservative guy than anything, you're not going to get a lot of bets off on this chart. Okay? Now notice the banker player chart. How many bets did he get off? 15 bets, which is about the norm. It's up 8 units on this chart. And this is a regular banker player chart. And notice, let's go back to that other chart for a second. You're only up 6 units on this chart. You have access, if you're playing online, and if you're a fast typer. That's the caveat. That's the caveat or caveat. Caveat. I think it's the word caveat. You have to be a fast typer to get those cards in that discard rack in the card tracker. But like I said, I'm going to do a voice act. I'm pretty sure I am going to do a voice activation, but I know I'm going to run into some problems with that. But voice activation would be the key to really tracking those cards and getting your bet in. But as you're entering manually, all these charts update with the cards or the hand you enter manually. Let's get back to this. So as the big road up 8 units, big eye boy up 1 unit, small road up 4 units, down 2 units, unchanged, and down 2 units. Now let's just take, and I always tell, and I always talk about this to people that play Baccarat. Let's say you're up 4 units and you've been playing for 3, 4 hours and you ready to go home. And the average bet is $25 now. If you're up $100, trust me, when you walk out that door, you're going to feel good. $100, that's money when you walk out that casino, but when you're in a casino, $100 is not a lot of money because you'll run through it quick, real fast. If you're up 8 units, that's $200. You're not going to get it all in one night. That's not your goal. Your goal is not to walk out of there, and let's be real. Whatever your average bet size is, you have to bet in proportion to your bankroll. You're not going to walk out of there with $50,000, $60,000 unless you like to play those crazy side bets. And the game of Baccarat is actually changing. Let me mention this for a second. Because of those side bets. Those side bets pay crazy amounts. But what are your chances of hitting those side bets every time you go? And I've seen, last time I was in a casino, this guy, and he was a doctor. And he hit the sevens, heaven sevens, or whatever they call it, whatever it is, he hit the big one. He walked out there with like $20,000, $30,000. That's how much money he had on that side bet. And those side bets are really a distraction because them side bets, I've seen more people standing and sitting there looking at the table with no more chips in front of them because they're placing, but they're chasing that side bet because they want the big one. Yeah, it'd be nice, but if I can walk out of there with, say, 8 to 10 units every night and your average bet is a quarter, and you done walked out of there with $200, $250. Trust me, you do that 3 or 4 times straight, you're starting to feel kind of good. But that's a whole nother different conversation. But you have to bet in proportion to your bankroll. And you're going there to play Baccarat. And if you want to play the side bets, that's on you. But what are your chances of hitting one of those side bets? And yeah, people hit them side bets all the time. Don't get caught up in it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But this right here, let's get back to the software. This right here, betting on this chart, I'm starting to like this more and more because it's more of a conservative thing for me. You know, you're betting, use a progression. Let's use a progression 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see what kind of changes we hit. Let's see what kind of changes we make here. Big boy, big eye, everything is still the same. Everything's still the same. 814202. 814202. So let's make it a progression. Let's do up as you win. Let's just change it up as you win. See, notice when you change it up as you win, everybody's basically losing except the regular player banker. These two are break even and the other are down 2 units. So yes, it definitely depends on what you want to, let's go 2 units. Let's go 2, 3, 5, 8, 12. Notice those numbers are going up too. 20. Big eyed boy. Didn't change much after that got in. That's up 11, up 3, up 6, down 3 units, down 1 unit, down 2 units. Yeah, this is more of my speed. I'm a very conservative person. Very conservative person. So, see if I change this number. Let's go 3, 3, 3. So you go 3, 3, 3. No bets have been placed yet. Not on this one anyway. Let's go here. No bets been placed yet because it hasn't hit 3 in a row 3 times. It's only hit it 3 times. So let's go down to trigger. Let's go to 1. See what happens. Now we got bets placed. After the first 3 in a row, it started placing bets. But who in actuality, who is going to start placing bets after the first one on the second one? You kind of like want to see history. You want to see history. So, this is what this software can do. This is what this software can do. Let's go back over here for a second. Let's I didn't deal no hands for you. I just been dealing shoes. Wow, I thought I'd deal some hands for you. I just been dealing a whole bunch of hands. Let's go one. Let's reset just so you can see how the cards are dealt. New shoe. And when you go to deal hand by hand, notice the cards come out and deal hand by hand. And it starts charting. Banker won that hand. You hit it again. Player won that hand. Do it again. Banker won that hand. Now, if you want to place a bet, and let's say your average bet is $25, and you want to bet 3, that's $75. And let's say we go banker, 75 to the banker. You go $75 to the banker, hit deal. Oh, and I'm going to show you something also. Okay, so we lost that hand, right? Let's go 2 units, $50 to the banker, and hit deal. I'm gonna show you what these. I got hit ratio also programmed in here also. Okay, that's a tie bet. Let's bet banker again. Let's bring this hit ratio. Let's make it go down or make it go up. Okay. Notice here. This has what you call, what your hit ratio is, how many times you bet versus how many times you won. So right now, I'm 50% on banker. I bet twice and I won once. I'm hitting 50%. Total hit ratio, 50%, 1 and 2. You want to keep that. If you're making bets, pay attention to your hit ratio because you want that first number to be going up, not that second one, that first one, whether you're doing player or banker. So let's say we're going to bet player a couple times and see if we can say you want to bet player, $75 to player. Bet player, $75, deal. Lost that one. So notice the hit ratio now is player 0 and 1. Okay. TC count is +2. So I'm gonna lean towards the banker, even though I don't play between +3 and -3. Betting $75 to the banker. Deal.
If you're too careful, your whole life can become a fucking grind.
Okay. Let's do it again. Let's see if we can make these hit ratios go. Right now, the hit ratio, I'm 2 and 4. Right? On banker, I won 2 out of 3. Player, I'm 0 and 1. The total is 2 and 4. Right now, the TC count is +8. That's hand 8. TC count is actually +3. Okay? So we're +3. I'm going to stick to the banker side. I'm going to lean toward the banker. Anything above plus, the banker has the advantage, or I like to say the banker is winning majority of the time. Anything below 0, the player is winning majority of the time. Banker won that hand. So now we get serious with y'all guys for a minute. Banker's winning. We're at +4 on the TC count. It is above the moving average, and anytime I see it take off above the moving average like that, I'm gonna go 1 unit, and I'm just gonna bet banker. As long as it's above that moving average, that's how I'm betting. Okay, banker wins again. Bet banker. As long as it's above that moving average, I'm betting banker. And notice this is banker. It's rocking and rolling now because it's above that moving average. Okay? You can go back and you can look at the other charts. Right now, my hit ratio is 71.4%, 5 out of 7. Okay? Go back, you look at the big eye boy. That's taken off. That's taken off to the upside also. Right? Small road. Small road is taking off the same, taking off to the upside. And speaking of same and different, notice banker is S, player is D. And with you being above the moving average, you automatically know that banker is S. Okay? This is on runs. When it gets a little choppy, it gets a little confusing. That's when I got to refer to this. That's why I say practice whatever road you're going to master, practice it. Practice it inside out. So you automatically know what banker is and what player is, because they switch often, very often. Okay? Small road, cockroach road. That's what the chart looks like on cockroach road. Opposite time before last versus time before last. Boom. Time before last is falling out of bed. So we know banker is D. Banker should be D on that. Banker should be blue. Oh, it would be different. Banker is S. My fault. Your mistake. Opposite time, opposite verse repeat. That's how the chart looks on opposite verse repeat. When a shoe takes off like that, just imagine it being above the moving average if you ain't got access to the moving average. It's popping. It is popping. Only time you really need access to the moving average, let's deal 25 hands into the future. Is when it starts popping like this. When it starts chopping like this, that's when you need access to the moving average. Got resistance up here. Look at that resistance line. Boom. Boom. Hit resistance again. It just can't get it got through it one time and came right back down. This is nothing but a charting situation, whereas it's almost like you're looking at a stock chart. Play the resistance or play the support. It's man, it's I don't know what to tell you guys. I can't make you guys believers. The information speaks for itself. Okay? Like I said, I put a lot of thought when I started putting this software together and how I wanted it to look, because I thought you guys needed another option as far as tracking Baccarat than just messing around. Okay, now that you know what all this could do, let's get back and let's look at something else here. I'm popping these back into the software. Let's pop all the windows back in. Where are you? There you go. Let's pop everything back in. Okay. Now, pattern finder. Okay. All this is so you can study charts. That's all the pattern finder is so you can study charts. I myself, uh, once you learn how to read, in my opinion, once you learn how to read the chart this way, instead of just keep doing this, you I don't if I just had access to this, which I do in the casino, I do I usually walk out of there 7 to 10 units. But now that I'm going to be charting several ways now, I'll probably walk out of there with an average of, I'm going to say 10 to 15 units, 10 to 20 units a night. Man, that's not chump change. Don't get greedy. This game is for the needy, not the greedy. Say some slop for the other pigs now. I remember a guy getting on the bus and he was hustling people with 3-card Molly. This is in DC. I grew up in DC. And got on the bus one day. I'm a teenager. And I thought this shit was so cool. This guy was playing 3-card Molly on the back of the bus. And of course, he had his people working with him and shit, getting all them people's money. And one lady, she put up $20 and he said, come on, you can put the $40 down. He said, but this game is for the needy, not the greedy. Say some slop for the other pigs now. All right, let's get into the pattern finder. If I wanted to run, let's hit reset. Let's hit reset, new shoe. We're almost through this, guys. We're almost through this video. I don't know how long I've been talking, but I think I've been talking for, at least I did say 45 minutes to an hour, didn't I? Okay, the pattern finder. If you need to take a break, this is a video. You can always hit the pause button, go get something to eat, come on back. I'll be here. I'll pick right back up where you push the pause button at. Okay, so this is the pattern finder section. If I wanted to run 1,000, let's say I want to run 1,000 shoes, just so I can look at a chart. And this is another way I'm going to prove my point. So let's type in 1,000 shoes. And when I hit run fast, bang.
If you're too careful, your whole life can become a
1,000
fucking
shoes.
grind.
Okay? It just ran 1,000 shoes. I can go back to whatever shoe I want to look at and go hand by hand. Okay? So I can save that 1,000 run shoe. So I can click save archive file as, and I'm going to call it, let's call it YouTube. I'll call it YouTube 1,000 shoes. So when I hit 1,000 shoes, I go to this section over here. And I say open archive. There's my 1,000. There's my YouTube 1,000 shoes. Click on that. The 1,000 shoes are loaded. I can go hand by hand, and I can do, if I want to look at the card tracker, I can see what cards were taken out at what point. That's how detailed this is. So we're looking at 1,000 shoes, and let's scroll on down. Let's pick a shoe randomly. Boom, 674. That's shoe 674 TC count. You're not going to tell me that don't look like a stock chart. It does. It is what it is. That this proves my point right here. You can look at this chart and you're looking at this chart at the same time. So you can select whatever you want, whatever you see popping, and notice these dotted lines here, that's support and resistance. Those black dotted lines are support and resistance. I can load up any shoe and I can go, if I decided to go two hand, Let's look at hand 25. It'll back all the way up to hand 25. And then I can go play by play. I am very detailed. I used to take music lessons when I was young. I majored in clarinet. And the music teacher, first thing a music teacher teaches you, we're going to learn a major scale. No sharps, no flats. And she cuts on the metronome, and you're constantly sitting up there, da 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 da. And this is the same thing. If you're going to learn the game of Baccarat, this is it. It's all rolled up in one right here, right now, right? Notice the bead chart is filling out. If you guys got any idea about a bead chart, let me know. I can program it for you and get it in there, and we'll see. It's going to be a surcharge for that, but you'll get to see how, and you have to give me rules very detailed with the rules. You can't just say, oh, give me the best out of 4, best out of 7. I did that. I actually did that with this bead chart. It's crap. Best out of 4, best out of 5, best out of 7, whatever you decide. It never made. You got your shoes here and there that made money, but overall, it's a loser. It's a loser. And you don't have time jumping from table to table. You want to sit there. You want to play Baccarat. You want to enjoy your game of Baccarat. You want to get up about 15, 20 units and hit the door, especially if you don't live no more than 20 minutes away from the casino. That's going to be a nice 20-minute ride home. Hey, there's a place I can go stop and grab me a salad. Go ahead on home. You're spending their money. You're not spending yours. You're spending theirs. That's what this is about. So, with these charts, you can basically look at these charts at the same time on this page. Okay? I got so much information. I started off the way it was on this page right here. But by the time I started adding shit, man, you got to scroll all the way down just to see the SDT. I have nowhere to put it. I think I can put it up under. I think I can put it under the card tracker, because the card track, I don't know. I got to play it by ear. I just got to play it by ear. But it's going to definitely be some moving around here. I'm going to be doing some rearranging. But for what you see right now, it is what it is. Everything works fine. And this is the same study chart. You can pop them windows out. All that stuff pops out just like the other windows. Bang. Put that back. By the way, this has a betting strategy down here. Progressions. If you want to, practice some betting on your track, your trigger, in your watch window. We're gonna call it the SDT. And you want to put in some progressions on this. It'll let you know on which chart is making money, which chart is not making money. If you have a particular betting strategy, I can custom it for you. I do a surcharge and custom work if it works. I'm not going to charge you if it doesn't work. If it works. Surcharge is not going to be much, but it's going to be exactly what you want to see. But right now, this program is not quite finished. Like I said, it will be shipping out somewhere around beginning of September. I'm going to say second week of September. Can't make no promises. There's nothing guaranteed in life but death and taxes. And that's what this does. That's what this second section does. You can just look at charts arbitrarily. You can't tell me, I'm saying it again, that don't look like a stock chart. And that's just a regular player banker chart. And this is what we probably get caught up in when we say, man, banker is due. Banker is due. Look at that shit. More players than bankers. It fell below. Here's -3 right here and didn't look back. There's no way you can tell on this chart right here. There's no way you can tell where that trend is. This is a true trend in my eyes, in my opinion, to charting Baccarat. And if you can't take your own sheet in there, they got cards. Lay them cards down horizontally and get busy. And I have done it. I have done it. Don't have a price on this yet. This is just this. I'm just getting the feel, and this is what I wanted to see. This is I'm basically satisfied with this software. This is something I wanted to do for myself. If you like what you see, leave a comment. Let me know if you want it. So, because once I release it, it's going to be released at one price. I can say this now. And then after that window closes, it's going up. It's not going to go up by much, but you can be like, damn, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay? So this is the drawing. Like I say, it has drawing practice right here where you can practice your drawing, looking at cards, and it asks you certain questions about, does this card take a hit? Does this card not take a hit? Does this card stand or does it draw? Whatever. And then here's the thing I like, because I needed this personally for me. Big eye road practice, small road practice, cockroach road practice. You need to understand these 3 roads. You have to have a basic understanding. And here are the rules for those roads. Here are the rules for drawing, and here are the rules for the road. Okay? And you can practice. It's going to give you an unlimited amount of questions if you continue to ask. If it continues to throw questions at you, it doesn't have a limit. But you get in enough practice so you'll know, so you can identify them real fast. So this is the Baccarat Edge. Thank you for attending my webinar, software webinar on the Baccarat Edge. And hopefully this software is coming to a computer near you. I'm out.